All right, today is July 31st, 2025, but this is my session from July 29th, 2025. Um, a couple of days behind on review, but I figured this one is going to be a good one. Um, it wasn't a perfect session. I was profitable overall. However, I didn't quite get as far as I would have liked to. So this is the P&L from that day. Um, I felt like the session was kind of a struggle fest. I didn't have a single trade, win or loss, above 2 ticks. So, I mean, if that isn't a struggle, I don't know what is. Um, I felt really good about some of these trades. I'm going to take a long here, 29.7, but I just have to meet that video. You'll come to see that a lot of them were executed poorly. I could have held a lot more. Some of the trades I shouldn't have been in at all. So let's jump into it with the first one, I suppose. I'll let the audio play here. I'm going to take a long here, 29.75. 2 ticks, got it. It's a quick trade. I like this one a lot. We're coming into the bottom of this channel, and I did have precedence from earlier, and I wish this was in the recording. It actually might be if I go back far enough. Either way, I did have precedence for a long here, according to my checklist. If I open up, not all. Channel breakout, yeah. So I did have precedence of this going to break long, and I think it does. So let's play the video a little bit longer and see if I could have held this. Yeah, I easily could have got some more ticks out of that. Yeah, I could have held this guy a lot longer. So I will screenshot it here. I'm going to try to fly through these, not for convenience, but just because I want to get this review done quick. +2, 2 ticks long, 3-second. My entry was approximately here. My exit was approximately here. I would have liked to hold until about here, if possible. So just about confidence, I think there was a lot of confidence going into the trade, but that's not really displayed in my trading. Like, I think I could have easily gone back and killed it a little bit more with this. So do that. I'll do boom, boom, boom. So one, sugar down, break out up with precedence not pictured. All right. And then 2, 3, 4. Reclaims. And then put a note here. Pressure confirming up move. Bind pressure, good. All right. Paste that in there. So I'm going to yellow star this one because I really would have liked to hold this longer. Exit early, entry good. I don't think I had any higher time frame stuff setting up, so I'll do no on that, no on that, and I do think I was mean favor on the micro time frame. And slip favor, conservative scalp. I had some reclaims working for me. I had the order flow working for me. I had a channel breakout. And I think that's it. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to hide these again. At this point in the session, I had calmness, contentment, maybe patience, and you'll come to see why that is. And I had clarity on this trade. On the next one, break even for 31.50. I'm going to take it off for one tick. It's getting a little too tight for my liking. Yeah, I took it for a break even. I still can't hear Fat Cat. I'm going to have to fix that in the next session, but bear with me for now. So I'm not a huge fan of this trade. I don't think I should have been short here. I was short, right? Yeah, I definitely don't think I should have been short here, especially since we're coming out of another channel. I'm going to rewind just a little bit more to see if I can hear why I went short there. It looks like it's putting in another struggle grind down on the 30-second. Could rotate here if that's the case. I'm going to try a short 31.50. I'm going to take it off for one tick. It's getting a little too tight for my liking. Yeah, I didn't like that trade. I'm going to red star that one. I don't think I should have been short there. None. I was kind of against the mean here. Slip favor. Not really. Slip none. This was a pretty aggressive scalp. I don't even know what my factors of support were. I honestly don't. So I'm going to click no edge. I don't do any of this stuff. This context miss. I think I was calm. I've been very calm trading lately. Maybe I'll hit a maybe on that because I can kind of hear it in my voice and how fast I got out of the trade. Calmness might have been slipping a little bit. I'm content and maybe patient. I was confused on this trade. I'm not going to bother with a screenshot generally just because I don't really think there's anything to learn here. Maybe I'll just do a quick one to highlight the context that I missed. Fuck off. Fuck off. One, two struggle grinds that are breaking up. We got a battle reclaim over here. We got a fat old reclaim over here. Price confirming up move. Delta confirming up move. Trade is clearly offsides, so not much to learn from this one other than I shouldn't have been in it. This one's tagged already? Yeah, let's go to the next one then. The reclaim's already gone. I'm going to pull this. I got a partial fill. I'm going to break even on it. All right, so I'm going to green start this trade. It was kind of messy how I physically executed it because I think interesting. So I think I lost 1 tick there instead of losing 2 ticks because I accidentally went short. It was a partial fill or something. I don't really know what happened here, but something happened. I ended up getting 1 tick of profit to the short side to cancel out my 1 tick loss. This one's tough. This one's tough. So let's jump into that here. Text minus 1 tick long. So I think this one might have been a little impulsive. I know literally just a couple seconds ago I said it was a green star trade, but I'm starting to second guess that. Sip of coffee there. Time is it? 12. Okay. Still got time. So this was the reclaim I was attempting to play. But it's very insignificant. Like, I think in order for me to want to play a reclaim, it should at least be present on the 30-second, which it is not. I'll even highlight that. Reclaim not present on 30-second. Sorry, I keep coughing. That's probably really annoying for the recording. My entry was approximately here, and my exit was approximately here. I like that I got out of this trade, so I'm not going to red star this trade. I do think there was a tiny bit of edge there, and it was fleeting. And the moment the edge was gone, I jumped out of the trade immediately. I did not stick around and hope for the trade to go. So I think I nailed the execution on a losing trade here, but I don't think I should have been in it in the first place. I'll tag this one impulsive. Impulsive trade, but man, it just perfectly. Good lesson on how to cut losing trades. So I think this was a good lesson, but it was not a good trade per se. Upload that. Let's tag it. I'll do yellow star. None of this shit happening at the moment, although we do kind of have a smaller time frame range setting up, which I am favor on. Did I have slip favor? Not. I kind of did. It's like 2 ticks, but I did have slip favor on it. Conservative scalp. I had a reclaim going. I had a channel going. And I think that's it. I also had downside liquidity holding, so maybe I'll tag that real quick. Execution. Entry late, the setup's already gone, but the exit was good. I like that I got out of there. This was an impulsive trade. I was not upset. I think I was maybe struggling with contentment at this point, but I was impatient on this trade. I'll mark that as in between. I don't think I missed any context. I do think I was aware of the context here. Just getting a little too trigger happy on the trades there. Break even on it. The weekend's already gone. I'm going to pull this. I got a partial fill. I'm going to break even on it. Oh, this is the trade we just watched, so it got duplicated. Should I combine these? Yeah, maybe I will combine these actually. Let me just copy these tags first. Oh, I just fucking cleared it. God damn it. The weekend's already gone. I'm going to pull this. Is there a... That's a refresh button. I don't think we have a go back button yet. Oh well, took me 2 seconds. Actually, I'm going to change this to aggressive. It was an aggressive scalp. I had a reclaim, I had a channel, I had a liquidity area, entry late, exit good, impulsivity, calm, maybe content, impatient, in between. Copy tags. Merge these two. So now it's essentially a break even. And paste tags. Okay. Yellow star that. Okay, cool. Did it keep the screenshot? No, it fucking didn't. Oh, that's frustrating. I should have copied that. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do that again real quick. I gotta be careful when I'm merging trades. Oh, wait, can I paste from clipboard? Yes, I can. Nice, okay. On to the next trade. I'm gonna rewind a couple seconds just so I can see what's going on here. Yeah, it looks like they're trying. See, we still got so much reclaim left. I'm gonna pause this, and this was 2 days ago. So I can't exactly remember what happened here, but I'm gonna bet you, because of what I'm looking at on the delta and what I'm looking at on the price action, I'm gonna bet you I could have got like 5 or 6 ticks out of that. So let's see if I'm right or wrong with that. Yeah, I'm gonna imagine myself that I'm still holding a little bit of drawdown here. Delta's still in my favor. Delta's still in my favor. There's no reason for me to get out yet. I'm just gonna make probably take it there. I'm gonna listen to the price squawk. Probably take it right there. 29.25, or at least try to. So I think this might be a good one to visualize, because I mean, I had edge here. I think this is like almost A plus. And I really, really would have liked to hold this one a little bit longer. I'm just going to let this play a little bit. Yeah, I definitely could have held this one longer. I think it's unrealistic to say I would have held it until way up here, but let's run through it anyways. First things first, I want to do this screenshot before I do the visualization because I want to know all the context before I visualize. So let's break this down. This is the 30 second. I got plus 2 ticks to the long side. So it's the 3 second. We've got a obvious V flush here. We've kind of got precedence of V flushing going on here. We've broken the range. We have a clear and present reclaim on the 30 second. We've got clear and present reclaim on the 3 second. And I think that's it as far as context goes. I wanted to reclaim this range. Maybe I'll mark that out real quick. So we are slipping back into that range pretty aggressively. So arrow key. I think I got an ideal entry on this. So I think my entry was like here. My exit was like here, where I could have potentially held until I would have liked either this spike or this spike over here. For the sake of getting the point across that I should have held this, I'll go back here. So my entry, my exit, ideal exit. So what I've been noticed is I'm getting really good at entries. Like my entries are almost always flawless. I can't remember the last time I did a ideal entry tag. For whatever reason, I think I'm just I'm kind of nailing entries. Reclaim, present, reclaim, present. Okay. I think that's all the context I need. So delta is holding, no reason to sell. Perfect. Entry, piked the trade a few ticks. Important to be watching delta while managing a trade. There were 0 exit signals. Okay, to hold for majority of reclaim. So yeah, I could have easily held until this point over here, which would have been like 6 ticks, I think. 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, 6 tick win instead of a 2 tick win, which would have put my day in a much better position. So paste that in there, upload it. Again, I'm gonna have to yellow star this one as much as it beats me up, but we did have a larger mean favor. We had the micro mean favor. We had the slip favor. This was a conservative scalp, but I should have been a little bit more aggressive on it. We had a prior value area. We had a reclaim. We had a V flush. We had order flow working in our favor. And what else? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Entry was perfect. Entry was early, or exit was early. I think fear. If I had to tag one thing, I think it might be fear on here. It was calm. I think I was maybe a little too content, if that's such a thing. And then patience. I think I was patient and waiting for this. And I had clarity. I was very clear on the setup, which sucks. Like I could have pushed this. Could have pushed this a lot better. I'll even mark this A+. Let's go to the next one. It is approaching 9:30. I should have time for one more, and then I'm gonna have to split this video up into 2 pieces. I'm gonna take it for 2 ticks because that's kind of been the theme today. So again, I think I could have held that a lot longer, and I'm looking at this setup, and I think this is a great setup. I could have got the point out of it easily. Let's just continue watching for shits and giggles and see how low it goes. It goes a lot lower. Oh man. So if there's one lesson to take away from this session, it was that I was just being way too fearful, honestly. Just not taking big enough risks. I think my entry was here. My exit was here. And my ideal exit, again, I think could have easily been on this down move here. Entry, which is perfect again, by the way. My entries are perfect lately. Ideal exit, I could have easily held this longer. Great setup. We had a top liquidity there. We had a little bit of a slip range going. Developing slip range. Liquidity holding. Delta confirming down move. There was a pretty clear reclaim here. Excellent trade. Perfect entry. Pikes the trade. 2 ticks. Could have easily been 6 to 8 ticks. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me put in this too for more context. Feeling these reclaims all day. All right, let's paste that in there. Boom, boom. This is going to be a yellow star again, unfortunately. None. I do not consider this a range anymore because it's been breaking. Slip favor, I did have slip and micro range favor. This was a conservative scalp, should have been moved to move. Reclaim and reclaim fade. Liquidity area holding and order flow working in my favor. Entry was perfect. Exit was early. Fear. Calm, maybe content at this point. I think I was struggling with contentment issues, and yes, I was patient and I was clear. I'm going to mark this A+. So, some issues going on with contentment, I think. I didn't want to risk anything, you know. So, I'm going to cut this into a 2-parter, so I will be back for part 2. All right, back to it. We're on trade number 6. I do realize that there's a trade back here that I want to come back and visualize, but for now, I'm just going to keep heading on with my review. So let's see what this one has to offer. I'm going to back this one up a bit. I'm not going to push it. I'm happy with where my session's at right now. All right, there's the reclaim. So that was low of day, right? No, that's not low of day. Low of day is 25. See what the delta does here. I'm going to try along for 2 ticks. Yeah, I got out of it for 2 ticks, 2 tick loss. So I think that was a pretty decent cut. I liked the idea. However, if I take a look at the delta divergence, yeah, I think we're in a natural downtrend, or at least pretty close to a natural downtrend. So if I look at the last pivot point here versus here, this was flat, whereas this went up a lot. So yeah, absorbing. Sellers are absorbing up here, which means that price is likely going to keep bleeding. And if we fast forward a bit, I think that's exactly what happens, at least for the medium term. So let's go to tagging it. At this point in my session, I do believe I was calm, maybe content here. I'm going to try. I think I was struggling just a little bit with contentment issue this day, especially because, you know, I was fighting for 1 to 2 ticks. and maybe patient. I thought I had clarity on this, and in hindsight, I didn't. So I'm going to put in between. This is unfortunately going to be a yellow star trade. And I'm going to try to roughly copy what's going on here. I think that's... No, I think we're more trending at this point. So I'm just going to go none on all these. I did have slip favor, conservative, reclaim, order flow, and I think that's it. My entry was a little late. I feel like if I had gotten in just a little sooner, I could have maybe gotten one tick out of it. My exit was good. That was a good cut. And I just missed context, especially the divergence there. The absorption. Let's go ahead and screenshot this trade. I need flame shot up. Cheeky little screenshot here. This is the 3-second minus 2 ticks long. So what's important to note here is that if we measure from this line to this line, it's flat. But if we measure from this line to this line, it's not flat, meaning there is a divergence here. Despite the fact that buyers are pouring in, sellers are keeping the market down. The market down. I think that's how you spell absorption. I think that's good. Arrow keys. And I want to also make a note that volume is confirming down move. I'm actually going to move this up here. Go move this stuff here. Okay, I think that's good. Paste that on the clipboard. Trade looks good. Everything's tagged. Let's go on to the next one. Short. Yeah, so if the delta starts going into that reclaim, I got to flat key it. Yeah, delta's taking too long. I'm going to try it for the tick. I got one tick on it. All right. So it was a decent one tick. But at this point, I think it's a frustrated one tick. Like, it's easy for me to watch this in hindsight and think that was a decent cut, but at the time, I was getting pretty frustrated with only getting one tick. Where was that exit? It was right there. Okay. So first things first about this trade is I notice that I am entering on a pinch. We are pinching, and I am entering pretty much right there. I talk about this in past reviews that I really do not like entering on a pinch like this because chances are it's gonna blow out something wacky, and I would rather get in on the wackiness than be in before it, because then I'm just asking for trouble essentially. A couple things working against me. One, I've got this big old reclaim behind me, which I do not like. Reclaim. Now, while I do have the favor of the delta, I'll show you what I mean by that. Similar to last picture, from that pivot to that pivot is a down move, and from this pivot to this pivot is also a down move. So, volume, confirming down move, which I like. I just don't like having another reclaim. Like, I wish I would have got in up here, when delta was really diverging. And then also, what was also working against me was the fact that delta had gone up so much. So from here to here, it looks like it's confirming, but from here to here, it's like price is rising, but it's not doing much. So what I might do is I'm actually just going to get rid of that. And I'm going to keep this flat. So the fact that price is staying flat while we are moving up buying while price is flat. Divergence. So again, sellers are keeping the market down, which ended up being good for me, just not the right opportunity. I took the wrong entry here. I think that's it. So I'll write a note here. So decent idea executed. Cool. That's good enough for that guy. I'm gonna have to yellow star this. I'm not crazy about this trade. Nothing. Slip favor, conservative scalp. I was hoping for a continuation lower. So that might be reclaim fade. Kind of a compression, but not really. Order flow was working in my favor. Entry was late and my exit was good. And calm, maybe patient, and in between. Yeah, I think that's about it for that one. Let's go back to this guy. Yeah, I'm watching that delta like a hawk, and it just keeps going down. I took it off there. Yeah, so that sucks. I just barely missed that trade right there. Oh,
I'm gonna have to visualize this one too, because I think this was a good idea. I do think this was a good idea. Shit, where do I even start with this one? Okay, let's start with. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Where's my print screen? There we go. So let's start with Delta. I like how we're coming down here and we're slowly bending upwards. I like that because it's like a ship turning around. You know, a ship can't stop on a dime. It takes a minute for it to reverse. So I like that we're slowly turning around. I like this price action right here too. I like that we kind of slip ranged for a bit. We confirmed this range, and then we got a nice cheeky little retest. So kind of looks like this. Boom, boom, boom. Retest. And go. Okay, I like that. I like that we're taking back the reclaim. Reclaim. I like that there's a doji graveyard up here. I like that there's more reclaim. Yeah, I like almost everything about this trade. Slow turn in Delta. We're getting supportive volume. Volume supported longs. Although this is kind of hindsight because the trade comes back here. So maybe what I might do is yeah, I'm going to get rid of this because this is kind of hindsight. Put this back though. Okay. Let's get my executions in here. I think I got in around here, and I unfortunately exited around here. I should have exited on the breach of this local high right here. My entry, my exit, ideal exit. So I exited way too early on this guy. This one took long. This is great setup, and I just fucking piked it. And that's trading, man. It's tough to turn your bias on a dime like that because, I mean, the entire session had just been downtrending, you know. So it's hard for me mentally to switch to a bull bias at the very bottom, but that's just part of the game. It's something I gotta learn how to do. So let's get this guy copied in there, and then we'll jump into some visualizations. So mistake, fear. I think this is all like that. I had really good clarity, but I just failed to execute on it. Exit early, exit entry good. None of this stuff. Slip beaver, conservative scalp. I had a prior value area. I had a reclaim. I had order flow, and I had dojis going for me. Right, reclaim dojis. Prior value area. This also could be a support resistance flip because this resistance is now turned into support. I like that. I think that's it for tags. And yellow star, which is unfortunate. That means my entire day was yellow, which kind of shucks. All right, so let's do some visualizations real quick. I'm going to start with this one because it's the freshest one in my mind. I'm going to rewind to the point where I took the trade, and I'm just going to imagine myself holding it, essentially. I just want to do some lighter breath work first. I actually want to get some background noises up. All right, so I essentially tried to visualize myself holding this trade into that local high, and to just understand like how much context I'm taking in, and that the factors are in my favor. And while this trade does involve some risk, I think it's unrealistic to have one ticket risk. You know, taking the trade off for one tick loss is way premature. I think this trade is clearly working in my favor. And to pull a trade off when it goes one tick against you is just that's it's not trading. You know, there's no real reason for me to get it off. So yeah, just trying to feel good about it, and I do. It's disappointing in hindsight to look at a trade like that, but I do feel a lot better knowing that it worked. It was a great idea. Just sometimes I got to be a little bit more patient. I got to accept a little bit more risk, um, and I can't just be cutting every trade as soon as it goes against me. I want to take this one as a plus, and I want to go back to these two. Let's do a little recap here. Delta confirming down move. Delta's flat relatively, although it is downtrending a bit. Yeah, buyers can't get back above that level. Market is tapering on flat delta relatively, which is good for shorts. Taking back this reclaim. Yeah. Liquidity holding. There's also a divergence. So if you mark those two, the fact that volume is rising, buyers are stepping in, but price isn't going anywhere because sellers are absorbing those buy orders. All right, so let's watch it. And let's go back. So there's the entry. It looks good. It looks good. And I take it for 2 ticks. I could have gotten like 7 or 8. All right, so I'm going to play this one on 1.5. Man, I really, really like this trade. All right, I'm just going to take a minute to think here. All right. Ooh, okay. Man, I can feel a reaction on that move right there. I can feel like I'm still in this trade and it goes in my favor so quick like that. You know, boom, right there. Boom. 2 points. At least 2 points. So I feel much better about this one too. In hindsight, this is just a fucking A plus hold or trade. Could have easily been a 2-pointer, but that's okay because I'm learning from it, and that's what matters. So those will be my 2 visualizations for today. Goal is to emulate more of that kind of trading as I move forward, and I guess we'll find out if I do in the next one.